Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Paul and Max are here, and you have dropped in on another installment of Retro Rumours, aka Transfer Rumors from the Past. Echo. So we're going to start with a story from 2009. Everton manager David Moyes is continuing his approach of trying to attract the best young talent in the country, with players knowing they will have an opportunity to break into the first team. Delph has generated interest from all the top clubs and seemed destined to join Man United last summer. United are still keeping an eye on the club, blah, blah, blah. It looks like Delph regards the Everton move as an attractive proposition. So the title of this is Delph Destined for Everton.
Probably
okay. Yes. 2009. That wouldn't have been too bad, right?
I'd have liked that signing. Delph was kind of, as we said, just a kid at the time, but at that time we needed a midfielder like that, a centre midfielder. Were we still playing Phil Neville in centre midfield around that period? I know we were still playing Leon Osman in the centre midfield around the time. We didn't really have any. We had Arteta, but Arteta had that long-term injury. I think Cahill was always used as the number 10 or false 9, so he wasn't really a number 8 who sat. We really needed a number 8 type player or a number 6 who would sit in front of the back four, but Moyes didn't really have anyone who could do that, not long term anyway. So I'd have liked that signing, but I don't really think there was anything in it, really. I don't think we could have afforded him, just that we were dirt poor, weren't we? So,
Max, what do you think? You think that would have fit in?
I'm assuming it was when he was at Leeds.
It is at Leeds. It is when he was at Leeds.
Definitely, exactly what Paul said. I remember that. That era really well, kind of 2008, 2009, 2010. That was probably my favourite Moyes side, even though it was really flawed quality-wise. We were going through that phase where we just had no steel in holding midfield. It was, like Paul said, Phil Neville was doing a job there, and Marouane Fellaini had to drop back if we needed them to, and that really, having Fabian Delph there, I know he was only a youngster at the time, but that really could have spanned Everton's fortunes, because if you look back, that team, it was a good little team. We got to the FA Cup final with that was a heartbreaking occasion. We did score too early in that game, and our Moyes' approach to sit back when we were 1-0 up was absolutely mind blowing, and we just got slaughtered. But so Fabian Delph at that time, he really would have had a quality in that midfield.
I don't think Fabian Delph was really a Moyes type signing at that time period. Moyes didn't typically sign young players and then groom them long term. I mean, he did at the end. He got us John Stones, and there was players. There was a few others, but Moyes didn't tend to trust youngsters unless he had to. He would only play them if there was no other option.
Yeah,
and I think he did. He preferred his old pros type thing. Guys who kind of have been around the block, maybe had something to prove, or going on the cheap. I don't think it was really in Moyes' makeup at the time to buy just some unknown kid and throwing him straight in. If we'd have signed Delph, I don't really think we'd have seen much of him. I think he would have just been in the reserves for a while. And
he had his youngsters who he trusted. I think Moyes. You look at the likes of Jack Rodwell, Dan Gosling, James Bourne. They were the type of youngsters who would make frequent appearances, whether that means starting or coming off the bench at some point. I know exactly what you're saying. Moyes wasn't as clued up per se as an Arsene Wenger when it came to young talent, and he kind of, he had his favourites, as become apparent with the likes of Phil Neville has been saying. But we were absolutely, we were on the bones of our arses in terms of finances around that stage. So, in that sense, I can understand why Moyes was the way he was.
Yeah, a lot of those young players who Moyes trusted as well, a lot of them only got their break because there was no one else. There was no one in front of him he could use instead. I mean, Ross Barkley, didn't he play like once with David Moyes, and then he got binned off to Leeds? If he could if he had to play kids like he did against Benfica when we were just putting plasters all over the team, he would do it. But he wasn't the kind of guy who he would say, right, I trust this young kid, and I'm going to play him over this 30-something pro because I believe this kid's potential is better to have or better to nurture and take a chance on rather than just rely on this guy's professionalism. Moyes, for the most part, if he had an option, usually picked the older professionals rather than the younger kids. So what I'm saying is, I just don't think Delph, for a player like that at the time when he was very young, is the type of player we always would think, yeah, I'm going to sign you, and I've got plans for you straight away. If he did sign kids, it was usually just so he could bring them in later on, not because he saw something he really liked and he was going to just throw them in and let them learn on the job. Moyes wouldn't let players learn on the job like that. Not usually, anyway. I mean, there was one or two at the end, but certainly not in the first 2/3 of his reign.
It's kind of funny. Like, I've been watching that All or Nothing Man City on Amazon Prime, and Delph's on there. You know, he's on there, and he's probably one of the more entertaining people on there. Just no issues dropping bad language left and right. He's actually kind of funny, to be honest. So yeah, it's so this one I think was totally not true. Like, totally shit. I don't believe this one. And I've heard rumors as to where this one came from. Okay? From The Guardian, 2014, Everton interested in signing Kenwyne Jones from Stoke City.
I remember that. I did.
Everton are interested in signing Kenwyne Jones from Stoke City and are trying to complete a deal for the striker for as little as £1 million.
Was that following the pig head in the locker incident? If you remember that at Stoke, because I'm sure around that time there was an.
I don't actually know.
I'm sure there was an incident where he put it like proper Luis Figo style. He put a pig's head in someone's locker in training. I remember him getting quite a bit of news coverage around that time, and you know what? 30, that was 2014. That was madness. That was the best. That was the best that we've been in ages. I don't. That seemed completely fabricated to me. Don't know what.
I heard rumors that this was one that was started on like Grand Old Team. Like they were joking around there, and then this story dropped like right after that.
Probably that problems with the internet, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, that's a player I'm actually familiar with because he plays for Trinidad, or he played for Trinidad, and scored a lot of goals for Trinidad when he played there. And so he's a player that when I started watching more Premier League, I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah. But
the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, is that a player that's going to make Everton better in 2014?
Oh.
No.
No.
I mean, even that 1 million. You know, were we that desperate at that time for a backup striker? I don't know. Were we starting Kone? Were we playing Kone at that time?
That sounds to me like maybe, if what Max is saying is accurate, that he kind of got himself in a bit of trouble up at Stoke. That if there's anything to that at all, that sounds to me like he's been told to find himself a new club, and his agent has kind of just picked up the phone and tried to make a few phone calls.
Well, it said that he had less than 6 months left on his contract because this was in January. And Stoke was trying to actually, I mean, heck, it could have been Stoke who placed the story. You know what I mean? Trying to get a little bit of money out of it. Agent or Stoke won.
I certainly don't believe the phone was ever picked up and we called Stoke requiring it. That sounds to me like someone on that side was kind of just putting the rod up and hoping someone bit.
Yeah, I don't think we had any interest on this one. Yeah. I saw this one and I kind of laughed. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's not exactly getting linked with Guti from Real Madrid, is it?
No, that's not the same. Now that I'm familiar with Guti, oh my God. That guy was amazing.
I know.
Yeah, just update for those of you who heard that one when it happened. Been researching Guti, and my God, really angry we didn't get him. Terry sent me a video highlights, and it was just sick. Just sickening.
With Guti, mate, all you need to watch is that back-heeled assist. I think
that's the one. Yeah. That's what it started with. That's what the video started with. It was absurd.
Oh God, what a player.
Anyway, so last one, guys, from January 2010. Everton eye up loan deal for Marseille winger Hatem Ben Arfa.
Ooh.
Everton are back in the hunt for Marseille winger Hatem Ben Arfa. Everton staff watched him on Wednesday against Le Mans and are keen on a loan deal. By the way, this is from the Mail in 2010. Yeah. So I think that's about it, frankly, on that story. I was expecting more. But apparently we were just asking about
Underrated player, isn't he? Underrated player hasn't been Arfa. You ever remember those 2 goals he scored for Newcastle? Literally kind of identical. I know one was against Bolton. I'm not 100% sure who the other one was against. He picks the ball up and he spins about 3, 4, 5 men, whoever's in his path, takes the ball on from inside his own half, skins everyone and puts it in the bottom corner. I'm sure he did it again. I remember one of the games, I could remember really watching Match of the Day, and there was a highlight where he was that good, he even made the referee fall on his ass. He spanned the referee and made the referee fall on his ass. And I just thought, I remember watching him for Newcastle thinking, whew, what a winger. He could really make an impact at Everton. Obviously, sadly, his career's kind of dwindled out since that move to PSG. But, in his prime, he was a lovely player to watch.
Wasn't he a player that, although talented, maybe was not the easiest to work with in terms of personality?
I've heard his fitness wasn't admirable either. His physical condition wasn't what it should be for a professional footballer.
Yeah, a bit of a Jack the Lad, as we call him over here, type guy. A guy who likes his social life as well as his football.
Gotcha. I'd say that's kind of prevalent.
Yeah, I don't. I don't knock a player for going out and enjoying themselves as long as it doesn't affect their performances and it doesn't get them in any trouble. But it kind of just seems most players, him included, just find it hard to find the balance. I'd have loved him. I wouldn't be that. That is what I would expect Moyes to kind of pick up the phone and make some inquiries, because he was quite shrewd in picking out those players from around Europe. These little players who were not very well known but were just waiting to be discovered, type thing. Dinar was one of them. Arteta maybe is one of them. Maybe players that people have heard of, but they just haven't kind of shown what they can fully do yet because they haven't had the opportunity. So
yeah,
I like to think Moyes would have been clever enough and shrewd enough to have spotted him and tried to get him in. But he probably went elsewhere because he was promised more, offered more money. I like to think so anyway.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else on Hatem Ben Arfa, that is it for our Retro Rumours segment. If you've been digging the videos, please subscribe. Sitting around 1170-ish right now, so thanks for that. Make sure you check out Paul's work on the Liverpool Echo fan jury, but also on the Toffee Blues website. Max as well. Okay, they both have analysis on there. There's good stuff. So I guess that's it for the videos today. So anyway, for these guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.